Hi, this is Christine Farley, and I wanted to invite you out to my garden for a little chat, as though we were just together. And so, there's been some things on my mind that I have recently been taught by the Spirit that I just thought that might help you too. So, I wondered how many of us carry around the burden of lack of forgiveness or the burden of judgment. And I know that sometimes my shoulders aren't that broad, but sometimes I'm carrying that around. And it's very common for us as natural men and women to feel that instant, you see somebody or something and you go, you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, skip this, you're already beyond the rest of us, okay? So recently I heard an interview of a sweet Amish farmer, and this farmer has been persecuted by authorities in his local area, and for his practices of farming and sales. Now, whether or not we agree with him or not, or his practices, that doesn't matter. But in this interview, he was asked a couple of questions, and I'm loosely paraphrasing them. The first question that I remember that just struck my heart was, do you feel like your method of farming and the way you work with your customers is part of your religion? And the man went on to explain that he was raised from a very, very small age to be a guardian, a stewardship of the land, a stewardship of the animals, and a stewardship of his farm. And that he felt that that was his calling, not just because of the way he was raised by his parents, but also he felt that that was part of his God-given responsibility. And then he was asked, so what about people who are persecuting you or who don't agree with your practices? And he had some great wisdom, and this is part that struck me, was that they are innocent. And the interviewer asked him, what do you mean they're innocent? And he says, they don't have the same level of responsibility, calling, understanding, and personal, I would say, clarification from God that he had, that this farmer had. And that really struck me because we are all at so many different levels, and we're day to day, moment by moment even. And so these different levels of understanding provide opportunities for us to provide grace for other people. And I have found that it is so much easier for me to just let go of the burden of judgment and let go of not forgiving people by letting my understanding go into compassion, that we are different, and I can respect them and respect the differences, but I don't have to hold on to any judgment. I don't have to carry that burden and that backpack anymore. And I still have to daily, if not more often than that, remind myself that it's not my job to judge, that's God's job, and that it is my job to forgive, and that I can have compassion because I can carry that with Christ. And this interview and my spiritual experience, or I will say enlightenment on it, and maybe God's just teaching me at 3 years old what maybe I should have been taught as a young child or didn't understand. I know my parents did the best they could to teach me about Christ and about his life and living a Christ-like life, and they did a fabulous job. But I never cognitively or in my heart understood it's not my job. So I don't know if this will help you, but if I can maybe look at others and say they're innocent to my level of understanding and my level of thinking, which is not the same as anybody else's. Thank goodness. So I hope this little moment in my garden has helped raise your understanding and helped you to be lifted and released from the burden of judgment and the burden of carrying on things that aren't ours to carry. So in the meantime, have a blessed day.